as his coordinators have, and they've got a ton of speed on that football team, and they're well coached, execute well. So that time's yours.
Coach, this has been, I guess, kind of a weird time for you guys to have had this much time off from some of these games. How do you kind of handle that, and what do you feel when you see the guys here, like their willingness to get out and work and all that?
Yeah, sure. They've got good attitude, players. They were in last week and did a nice job with that, and even on the days off, a lot of them came in. So, but want to make sure we gave them a little time for recovery. But they're excited to go. They know they're playing a good football team, so they're excited.
What do you remember about that divisional round game against the Texans back in 2019 and being down 24-0, and what was kind of going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, we didn't start off very well, that's for sure. And they were playing well. I was proud of our guys for kind of regathering together, and coaches and players, and trusting each other enough to come back, and we were able to do that. But first half wasn't very good.
Coach, from the AFC, the ultimate destination is New Orleans, and of course that's where the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl, and Hank Stram had the navy blue blazer at that time. How much, when you broke out the navy blue blazer at the Super Bowl last year, how much do those traditional things mean to you?
Yeah, listen, I've got to give credit to Brett Veach on that. He set it up. We've worn it a couple times. Wore the red one too. Didn't have a lot of success with that one, but I love the history of the game. Obviously, there was a ton of history here, so I love that part of it. Kind of grew up. I was a big Mike Garrett fan, so I followed the Chiefs, and those were special years for sure.
Andy, given just your love of the history of the game, is there any part of you that allows yourself the appreciation of what you're trying to accomplish this postseason?
Yeah, you don't ever, Sam, you don't ever go there. You're kind of tunneled in here, just trying to find another play that possibly works, or another defensive play that works, or special teams guys are doing that part, and it's a weird dynamic that way. You don't ever look at that stuff. You're just ingrained in trying to make sure you get communicated and see enough tape, but communicate with the players and teach them and so on. Yeah.
Were you purposeful with the players in that way too, to ensure that they had that mindset, whether it was back in OTAs or whenever it might have been?
Yeah, I haven't heard them say much about it. So I'm sure if I would have heard something that I felt like they were looking ahead or whatever, I'd remind them. But there hasn't been any need to do that. They've been pretty focused in all year. I mean, they know how I roll. I mean, they're around me all the time, so I don't ever go there. Yeah.
Coach, we know that Jalen Watson did a good job getting himself ahead of schedule. What's your optimism level for his potential return?
Yeah, I kind of want to see this week, see how he does. But what I've seen so far, it's been good. He's in good shape, and I'm not telling you he can play a whole game, but he sure, I think he has a chance of playing. Yeah, we'll see.
What catches your eye most about Texans defense, especially how they contain Herbert?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that jumps out at you is speed. That front can run. We didn't have a chance to play against Zero last year, or last time we played him a couple weeks back. And he's fast also as a linebacker, and he's kind of their main play caller there. So, but he can, the speed of the D-line, the linebackers just jump out at you. And they're real good. The hands of the secondary, those guys, they catch the ball. You don't see a lot of bobbles or drops or that. If you're presenting it close, they can go up and snag it.
Coach, I know that you preach all the time cleaning things up and all that. You guys have done a great job of cleaning turnovers and all that stuff up. I know there's different things you can do to hopefully have that continue, but sometimes on things like that, is it just a little bit of luck? Ball bouncing your way or not bouncing your way, or is it something you feel like you really can control a certain amount of?
Yeah, there's some of it you can. I mean, obviously, the ball's not round, right? So that thing bounces a little crazy sometimes. So those, you kind of go, all right, that happened. But some of these things you can focus on, keeping the ball high and tight, not letting it get off your body. The throws, the routes that you call for the throws. Those are all things that you have some control over.
Blair? Andy, just what's the thought on left tackle and DJ or Joe?
Yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes this week. I'm gonna rotate them, and so it gives us some flexibility there. But I was happy with what Joe and Mike did in there. But I also liked what DJ did in, some of those snaps that he had, and there weren't a lot of them, but the snaps that he had against Denver.
When you say rotate, you mean rotate at practice, right?
Yeah, in practice, yeah. And we'll just see. We'll see how it goes.
Coach, Patrick has a new addition to his family. You watched him from number 1 to now number 3. As a father yourself, do you feel like it's gotten easier for him to be able to manage it all?
Yeah, I think he does great with it. He came in as Patrick 2 p.m. Now he's, right, Patrick 3 p.m. So he's got, once you have 3, 4 and 5 are easy. That's what I told him. So that was, well, you've made 3. You add a couple more, we'll talk.
I don't know if Britt would agree.
Yeah, true.
Andy, we're talking to Xavier in a little bit. Just with all rookies in general, just wonder the process of knowing that they're going to struggle at times over the course of the season, but allowing them to play through that.
So what was the first part of it?
We're talking to Xavier in a little
Yeah.
bit. I just wondered with
Yeah.
the process. Obviously, he had a stretch during the season where I'm sure it wasn't as good as what he wanted to be, but just allowing him to play through that.
Yeah. So you could see the talent. He's a smart kid. You could see the talent. It was a matter of time. He saw that with Rasheed the year before. We've seen it with a bunch of receivers over time. So as long as they're willing to work, smart, and have the skill he has, obviously, but you just hang with it and they'll work through it. They've got to see it. Get kind of those main defenses down and the reads and the routes and all that. So he's done a nice job with all that.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Okay, good.